Okay, got another hydraulic leak on this case skid steer. Recently replaced about 4 in a row, which is the most I've ever done. And then another one, it was running fine, and another one happened the next day. So I realized the best way to find a hydraulic leak, a lot of the times it's either frayed, or in this case on the skid steers I noticed it's vibrating on a piece of metal or another hose. So the first thing I'm always check for, because when you have something like this, sometimes you feel like selling the machine, especially if you can't find out where the leak is and you think it's a piece of crap. So first I look at where's all the hydraulic fluid. So there's a little bit down here, but there's way more down in that area. I started checking with my hand with a nitrile sort of mechanic rubber glove on, and checked with my fingers all the new lines that I put on. Wasn't really anything there, just some residue. So then I kept feeling around here, and then I started feeling the hose. Feeling along the hose. You have to be careful when you do this. And I could feel this part here where it's worn out and it's really sharp, like wires sticking out. So once I felt that, and you can kind of squish it, you realize, yeah, that's the place where the pressure is lowered on this hose, and that's where it's breaking out through right here. So then I took the hose off. Now if the rest of the hose looks good, you can just cut this section off and get a new coupler. Have a hose placed, connect it, and if not, in this case it's kind of frayed and ripped in other spots. The best is to just replace the whole thing, especially if you don't have extra length to take that section out. Then after that, you put it back together. That's what I do, and fill it up with hydraulic fluid and try and drive it around, and just check the gauge on the back of the skid steer. It's usually a glass gauge. This one's back down behind here. But this morning I came out and I saw hydraulic fluid on that side of the machine too. So that's another good way to kind of see where the area it's coming from, because there's a lot of hoses. It was right here, around this area. The machine was up before, but it was right here. So it's pretty much right above where this leaky hose was. So that's how I find hydraulic leaks, and yeah, it can be really aggravating and irritating to try and do that yourself, but once you get it, and it's pretty it's just the amount of time it takes and the amount of time the machine's out of commission. Sometimes usually only takes 1 day, 4 hours to do it. So, and just taking time and using different tools to see. The hard part is trying to get the hoses undone, like access to the connectors. So using different adjustable wrenches, different kind of wrenches. Sometimes you might have to cut off one end of a wrench just to make it work. Like down in here, these are really tight quarters to get into with a wrench and loosen up or tighten these hoses. So just have to be prepared to do that. And it's pretty easy once you do it yourself. Then you can keep your machine running for much longer. And consider how long it's lasted already, and try and keep it from rubbing against certain areas. If there's a something rubbing against it and it's avoidable, maybe zip tie it to another rubber line, or just keep it from shaking around and making another hole.